make clear as to how a proper business plan can help in your business, whether it's a startup or a growth stage business plan. How it can help in creating focus and setting targets and goals which will help you to grow your enterprise. We have with us Steve Gupta. Steve is with the Ventana Group, which is a boutique investment services firm in the Silicon Valley. He helps companies raise financing, and he serves as an interim CFO to a variety of software and tech companies. Steve has held CFO positions at various organizations such as Ernst & Young Consulting India, Mortgage Bank in Indonesia, and Bank of America's International Private Banking Division, and Bank of America Technology Group in London. So, with that, we'd like to call on Steve to start the session.
Thanks, Jimmy, for the introduction. We're a bit of a slow throat, so I'll be taking a lot of breaks reading more. So thanks all for coming. Let me just get used to this. Okay. All right. So they say that the best ideas come to you early in the morning. I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I keep a pad next to me, and as I'm drifting from my subconsciousness into my consciousness, just before waking up. I know we got one doctor here, maybe we got more. Just before waking up, there are ideas that come to me. And I wake up for like 5 seconds, I jot down the idea, then I go back to sleep. And some mornings I can understand what I've scribbled. Some mornings it actually makes sense. This is a pretty good idea. So, have any of you experienced these kind of ideas in the mornings? Yeah? Okay. So it's not just me. That's good. That's good. So do you keep a pen and paper next to you? Yeah? Okay. So what do you do? What do you do when you get these ideas, right? You're sort of passionate about ideas, you're knowledgeable about the ideas, you have fire in the belly, right? These are kind of common phrases, but to me, fire in the belly is really the thing that drives me, right? We can have passion, we can be knowledgeable, but we got to have that fire, we got to have that hunger to take that simple idea and grow it, raise money, take it to fruition, be successful. You got to have that fire. So for me, that fire is very important. Okay, so what I do when I see that idea in the morning, scribbled on a piece of paper, I say, okay, what am I going to do next? So I write a quick 2-pager, like on a laptop, just brainstorm your ideas onto the laptop. Then I think, well, I don't want to do this alone, because doing something alone is not a lot of fun. You've got to have somebody with you. You've got to have a co-founder. You can't really be successful by yourself. So have a friend with you. Have somebody with you that you trust, that you want to develop the idea with. Okay. So you have that idea, and now you have that 2-pager, and now you figure out what to do next. So what I'm going to talk about today is what happens after you have an idea. How do you put it on paper? What do you do with it? So these are the things that I'm going to talk about. How can a business plan help you? What kind of formats you should have, you should consider. Targets, goals, objectives, mission statements. I'm sure these are words that you all heard of. And to me, they've always been confusing. So I'm assuming that they're confusing for some of the audience here. And I'm going to go through and try and unconfuse the issue. I'm going to talk about some financial models, what's important. I'm going to talk about revenue models as opposed to revenue models as to how they fit into your business plan. And then finally, I'm going to talk about how do you use your business plan to raise money. How do you use your business plan to raise money? Okay? So any questions?
Sure. You mentioned that find a co-founder, a friend with you who can work on the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the passion which you have for your work, your friend might not have, or maybe a co-founder might not have the same kind of passion.
Right.
So there lacks this thing that how we should found a co-founder or something.
Well, so co-founder to me is somebody that you've probably been to college with. You probably worked with somebody like that, and that you're friends or you want to start something together, right? You'll only go to that co-founder person if that co-founder has the kind of skill sets you're looking for. So I'm a finance person. If I have an idea in genetic engineering, I'm going to go through my LinkedIn contacts or my address book, and I'm going to see, well, who do I know who knows about genetic engineering? I'm going to bounce my idea off that person. And I'm not scared to share my idea with somebody. And a lot of people are, because the guy might take my idea away, right? But people, it's not about the idea, it's about the people who carry out the idea. When investors invest in you, they don't really invest in ideas. I mean, sure, the idea's got to be there, right? It's got to be kind of unique and it's got to be exciting. But they really invest in the team. They invest in the 2+ people. They rarely invest in one person. I mean, one person makes a presentation, but normally you need people to get that investment. Okay. So, how does the business plan help? Actually, are these the latest slides? Never mind. Excuse me a second. They're not actually the latest slides, but I'll work around it. So how does the business plan help? Basically, it provides focus. So it helps you in writing something down with focus. So remember, at the end of the day, somebody's going to read your business plan. If it's not written properly, they're going to get confused. If they get confused, you're going to lose them. Confusing an investor takes 1 line or 2 lines. That's it. They might give you a second chance, but if they're confused, they think that you can't say something properly and that you probably cannot carry out the business plan. So focus to me is really, really important. What you write must be clear, and I'll go into that in a bit more detail later on. So focus, it helps you expand on your ideas. So that idea that you got up and you scribbled on a piece of paper and 1-liner, the business plan helps you expand on that. It creates a written outline that evaluates the aspects of the economic viability. So what is economic viability? Economic viability basically, is your business going to survive 3, 5, 10 years that you say in the business plan? Your business plan has to have economic viability, otherwise the investor will not invest in it because they're not in it for the short term, they're in it for the long term. Can anybody share any ideas on economic viability? No? We'll come back to that later on. And lastly, a business plan provides description of the analysis of your business prospects. So business prospects in this case are really your clients, your customers, who are you going to go after, and how do you analyze really going to go after, and how you're going to actually make money from going after those prospects. Okay? So, in other words, a business plan is really a set of business goals. It provides the reasons why your business should be successful, why you believe it's going to be attainable, the goals are going to be attainable. Your plans in reaching those goals. So you've got goals, you've got So it basically explains, your business plan explains, or should explain, your plan to reach those goals. Okay. And lastly, it should include information on your company. It should include information on your team. And just getting back to the team is really important. So, get some people with degrees and, experience, and a good resume really helps. Okay, so now we're going to go into business formats. And before I do that, does anybody have any questions on the previous section? Okay. So business formats are different. Shouldn't ask me to talk a little bit about startups and existing businesses. So business formats are different, obviously, for the two businesses. With startups, you're attracting investors. With existing businesses, you may be attracting lenders too, right? So existing businesses, you have to present to lenders like banks, or finance companies, leasing companies. But with startups, it's really only investors. So, talking about startups, coming back to startups, we normally present our plans to venture capitalists, be they be angel investors, they could be big VC firms, but I'm going to really pitch my idea, scribble on the piece of paper, probably to an angel investor. I'm going to probably be sitting and making a pitch, about a 10-minute pitch, to about 10 investors who are going to be sitting in front of me. And they're going to be 10 other people like me making the same pitch. So it's really competitive. Your plan has to be really sharp, very focused, and you've got to get the attention of the investor. Out of 10 people that present to 10 investors, the investors may not invest in any of those companies. They may invest in one. They will never invest in all 10. That's for sure. It's never happened. I know. So your job is to be the one. If there's only one pick, your job is to be that one. So having understood that, what does that mean? So you need to know what basically turns VCs on, right? I mean, they're in it for the money.